Hey there, fellow wanderers. Picture yourself stepping into the relentless throng of medieval city life. The air clings to your skin with the scent of tanning leather and freshly dyed cloth, tracing a warm, almost oppressive path into your lungs. You stand at the threshold of a dim, narrow workshop, the true heart of a tailor's existence. Ceilings press low above your head, laced with cobwebs. Bolts of rough wool and stiff linen loom in every corner. Your hands ache from stitching. Your eyes blur from squinting at fading daylight filtering through a warped window pane. This is not a fairy tale where flax turns to gold. This is life sewn tight with hardship, hemmed by exhaustion, and held together by whatever thread you can find. So before we dive deeper, I ask only this. If this kind of raw, unvarnished truth speaks to you, click like, hit subscribe, and leave a trace of yourself in the comments. Tell me your city, your time, your state of mind. Now, dim the lights. Let the hum of your fan blend with the wind of centuries past. Let's begin. And remember, in medieval times, even survival was a luxury. You find yourself in a compact corner, amid layers of fabric rolls stacked haphazardly like pressured tan dominoes. Threads of different hues intertwine on a wooden work table, looking more like a cat's play den than a meticulously organized workplace. Your nimble fingers waltz unnoticed along the warped wood trail, directed by the subtle, repetitive cadence of shears snipping against the endless cycles of demand. The life of a medieval tailor is marked by ceaseless motion. From sunrise to well after dusk, you labor under candlelight that flickers against your weary eyes. Clothing is a prized commodity, one more essential than almost anything but food. With every stitch, you hear the whispers of urgency, strict deadlines imposed by your clients, who range from nobility draping themselves in elegance to merchants desiring fashion statements that convey wealth and social status. You are not merely piecing together garments. You're weaving social symbols, attire that categorizes its wearer before they even speak. And oh, the patrons, dear patrons, rest assured, they're not the meek or just, for each visit rings with demands, tastes fickle as the wind. Some days, customers come with the liveliness of summer, chatting and bargaining, while others simmer in disdain, eyeing your handiwork as though scanning for flaws invisible to the naked eye. Every fix, readjust, or additional flourish carries a weight you can hardly shrug off. But, let's be frank, at least they don't wish you to magically transform a gown in a night. You're a tailor, after all, not a wizard. In the cozy chaos of your workshop, a historical fact becomes your reality. The tailor's shop was as much an institution as it was a place of creation. Tailors occupied a curious niche in the medieval economy, second in prominence only to bakers and merchants, with clothing as indispensable as daily bread. However, despite this significance in societal structures, historians still argue whether tailors were truly esteemed or simply a necessity reluctantly endured, much like that itch of wool you won't soon forget. Yet, amid the cacophony of stitches and the silhouette of your form crouched over, lies an obscure jest. Why did the needle bring great joy to the tailor? Because it oft promised the eye of relief. Quite literally, in the vast world of medieval artisanship, you are one of the few who rely on such tiny tools to craft sprawling tales with thread comedically absurd if one ponders it long enough. But don't be lulled by the soft murmur of fabric or the reassuring predictability of a needle and thread. The work demands every ounce of energy, acumen, and a good number of whispered prayers, especially when handling expensive fabrics like silk or velvet. A misplaced cut, a poorly aligned seam, or an oversight in pattern could cost more than Pryedite, could summon the end of your standing and plunge you into the depths of ruin. Thinking back to your daily grind, you realize this isn't just a job. It's a delicate dance of dexterity and resilience. As night falls within the city, cloaked in cloaking shadow, you, dear tailor, must continue, eyes straining under dim candlelight. An open scholarly debate often centers on whether the life of a medieval tailor contributed to the era's documented myopia among artisans due to such routine. There's a rhythm to the evening. The absence of bustling feet and wagons on the once noisy street created a melody of its own. With each inch of fabric transforming out of nimble hands, You craft patterns not only of fabric but of existence itself, a habit marking yesteryears and tomorrows, aligning them at the seams like today and tonight, looped together in the quiet satisfaction of work. And so you stitch on late into the night, each thread of reality, tugging against the roots of the years like those beneath the starlit sky. Here in this workshop, everything is a tapestry interwoven tales, hanging in the flickering shadows, breathing life and endurance into those who've lived and worked and stitched the world together since. The life of a medieval tailor sure isn't nobly a far cry from it, but there is beauty in its barbarity, a truth in its telltale wear. As you finally find reprieve in closing, lantern extinguished with a rasp, and as dreams twine into dawn like yarn on an endless spool, remember someone somewhere still steps across the cobbles. Maybe they wonder how a day will spin out, but that's another realm to wander upon tomorrow. Ah, the intricate dance of fabrics in medieval times. You find yourself amidst a bustling marketplace, the very air alive with shouting vendors and the pungent, earthy smell of damp wool being all too familiar. It's a constant challenge to procure the materials you've come to depend upon so dearly. Each step you take in this thrumming chaos echoes the dance of 1,000 others, weaving through stalls filled with the vibrancy of colours that shout louder than the market itself. The life of a medieval tailor is perpetually entwined with the fibres of these fabrics. For starters, there's wool, the stubbornly traditional material, warm and unfailingly reliable, yet demanding in terms of sheer discomfort, ever an inch away from driving one mad. Sheep, those wandering icons of consistency and stubbornness, are scattered across verdant fields, their fleece destined to transform into thick cloaks and undergarments needed by lords, peasants, and all in between. Wool is your bread and butter, the very soul of your craft. Then there's silk, rare, exotic silk. Ah, the coveted prize of the silk road traders. As you stand with fingers grazing the fine weaves of silk, it feels like touching water, itself fluid, elusive, and beguilingly iridescent. Silk's journey from the east to your hands is akin to a dicey game of chance, fraught with the whim of geopolitical winds. Controlled primarily by China, this luxurious fabric was strictly monitored, and the passage was as perilous as a dragon's hoard guarded by myth and legend. No matter its promise of opulence, acquiring it is a headache rivaled only by the accompanying headache of convincing nobles that their extravagant demands are, in fact, feasible within their allotted timeframes. A fabric merchant regales you with tales of Venetian traders embroiled in political intrigue, pitting kingdoms against each other with nothing but a swatch of silk and a well-timed bow. History is layered in such stories, and historians still argue whether these trade negotiations were more influential than military might. They, however, certainly shaped the bespoke offerings from your little shop, threading global interaction into each garment. Navigating these trade routes is, humorously enough, a bit like conducting a medieval treasure hunt, but instead of gold, you're after bolts of cloth hidden along the high roads and city streets. Alongside silk and wool, linen takes a comfortable seat in your fabric repertoire, though it never stirs talk of revolutions or the downfall of kingdoms like its elusive counterparts. The accessibility of linen made from the sturdy flax plant contrasts sharply with the velvety sheen of silk. Linen is the everyman's fabric, dependable yet fragile lesson, learned during countless summer days, on loom-lined alleyways where the dry, warm gusts smell like coming rain. When weaving together the threads of medieval tailoring life, the touch of linen always reminds you why so many garments are crafted from this practical choice. Its price point and versatility are the linen thread pulled through every class of attire, from the humblest of peasants to the sun-dried farmers, and even the occasional cleric. Shifting focus back to your workshop, it's mesmerizing to witness the kaleidoscopic amalgamation of patterns bursting into life. Our playful jest weaves itself into the scene. Making a dress is like creating a riddle, except the more threads you pull, the more complex it becomes. And so, it is with the garments you create a riddle, with equal parts skill and enigma. You, the medieval tailor, reverently preside over this hubbub with humble authority, often rubbing elbows with those who can snatch or deliver your business with a word. The whispered joke among traders is that tailors ought to be named fabric diplomats, capable of garnering favor with silken bargains or gently cajoling woolens from gruff fleeciers. All told, being a medieval tailor isn't simply about the work of cutting and stitching, it's also about survival amidst an age-old economy and trade network, threading lines of power and influence into warp and weave. Every merchant and fellow tailor is part of an unspoken web where anything less than vigilance could reduce you to mere thread clippings. Hence the intricate dance. The trade of fabrics links you to distant lands, foreign intrigue, and stubborn negotiational, part and parcel of just another day in your life as a tailor. Now, flick your gaze upward and feel time's embrace when, at day's end, you're caught in that rare moment when the streets hush and the world is purged of urgency. When fabrics cease being historical constants and return to their silent realm, waiting to sing beneath your skilled hands anew come the morning. In the dim glow of dawn's early light, a peculiar assortment of objects greets you in your workshop, murmuring tales of industry and innovation throughout centuries. Here you stand, surrounded by the tools of your trade, each item bearing the weight of craftsmanship and the promise of creation. As a medieval tailor, your tools are not just inanimate instruments, but extensions of your very fingers. Your hands reach for your shears, those not-so-delicate giants of metal, forged in the fires of simplicity and built like the battering rams of old. They're hefty and require a certain degree of armory strength to wield. The metallic glide and stark click of their blades register like a heartbeat in the rhythm of your day. These shears are essential, carving through cloth with a deliberate kind of elegance that your body knows well, even after years of repetition. Next, the humble needle makes its appearance. Fine and delicate, it navigates the fabric landscape with quiet precision. Do not let appearances deceive you. The needle's eye is not unlike threading through the debate of why broadcloth became the medieval fabric of choice, with historians still arguing whether it was due to its resilience or sheer convenience. Drawing thread through its tiny eye captures the collective sigh of history and intimate ritual known by generations past and shared among countless artisans. The swift dance of needle and thread is akin to a repertoire of instinctive gestures, weaving both garments and legacies. Don't forget the thimble, a simple device with a noble goal of saving your digits from the kind of punishment that makes sewing akin to a knight's training. Slip it onto your finger, and it stands guard like a miniature shield, its tiny dimples battle-worn testaments of past encounters with punctures and pain. Then, there's your measuring stick, an underrated friend in this parade of tools. Its crude markings hold the key to more than just dimensions. They signify the gateway to proportion and balance, ensuring that every garment fits as it should. In a world where your reputation hangs thinner than your thread, measurements are critical. A minority debate among scholars posits that the surge in tailoring complexity rose in tandem with the evolution of the measuring sticker tool that turned art into deliverable precision. While every tool has its story, quirks, and necessity, the unassuming chalk becomes your co-conspirator. It lets you indulge in ephemeral graffiti, temporary scribbles of patterns on fabric destined to be washed away, leaving no trace but impeccably guided handiwork. Herein lies a curious secret. When faced with the conundrum of fitting fabric to form, the trickery of chalk allows for adjustments and readjustments, serving as an artist's guideline, concealed like the Turnerian secret craft of transitioning bare canvas to vibrant scape. The work table itself is another silent partner in the artistry of medieval tailoring strokesman's easel, if you will, bearing the weight of labor, cloth, and calculation. Over its well-worn top, strategies are conjured, cloth laid with care, and patterns spread like wings, whispering tales of carriages and courts that await their debut. As you toil on each piece, a query looms: why indeed does handling tools feel so natural, like a dance your fingers were always meant to perform? Maybe it's the historical weight they carry, but then again, maybe it's the tailor's own brand of dream weaving, allowing stone-cold metal to sing. Jokingly, you think, if only these dull old things could listen during your prolonged rants, late nights, and that one particularly sour experience with a high-strung noble whose measurements defied geometry. Perhaps they're laughing with you in spirit, with variants of inquiries such as, does a tailor measure twice because he's unsure, or because the cloth itself refuses to change its spots. Despite their simplicity, your tools echo a critical narrative. They're not gaudy, complex, or in need of reinvention, they simply work. And in a world where the booming grandeur of heralded knights or cloaked magicians dominates fiction, your tools, though humble, enable you to cloak mortals as the truly grand beings of stories told and untold. As dusk reclaims the sky, you lovingly stow away each tool. They rest quietly, unaware of the dawn to come, when their whispered incantations will be needed once more under your guiding touch. Here, time stands still with a reassuring grin, confident that tomorrow's tale is woven with strands of today, through the hands of a tailor and the life imbued in tools long carried through time. The city enfolds you like a tightly stitched garment, a blend of stone and humanity, a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of medieval urban life. As a tailor, navigating this bustling urban jungle is as integral a part of your existence as the garments you craft. The narrow streets, teeming with life, are an intricate tapestry of scents, sounds, and sights, each thread, vibrant yet tightly woven into the vast cultural fabric of the medieval society. Above, the city sky is a patchwork of smoke and clouds, tinged with the aroma of fresh bread, mixing with less savory scents, wafting from the open gutter-san olfactory reminder of the city's numerous occupants. The cacophony of a marketplace in full swing reaches your ears, a mingled chorus of hawkers pitching wares, children weaving between legs with the reckless abandon of youth, and the creaking wheels of carts laden with everything from cabbages to coal. As you make your way through these crowded streets, your focus shifts to the practical side of maintaining your craft in such a suffocating environment. Living quarters are often cramped, defined more by economic necessity than comfort, with tailors like you frequently conducting business from within the confines of your own home. This means that your workshop, the heart of your labor, is also your place of rest, an endlessly bustling hive that offers little in terms of sanctuary from the demands of work. You contend with more than just the physical challenges of such close quarters. The presence of so many souls crammed into such tight spaces means competition is fierce. Each corner holds a potential rival or collaborator, creating a tight-knit yet oftentimes adversarial community. You are as much a navigator of human relationships as you are of fabric patterns, weaving your way through a myriad of complex alliances and rivalries. Historians still argue whether this claustrophobic cluster of humanity fostered innovation through unity or drove competition through necessity, but one thing is certain: survival required skill, both in craft and character. Inhaling deeply, your lungs fill with the distinct tang of urban life, and you silently acknowledge the need to keep your wits about you in such an environment. The narrow, cobbled streets that seem to wind endlessly through the city are your go-to routes for deliveries and errands, offering little room for the grandiose displays seen in rural fairs. Here, every square inch is in high demand, from the wooden beams that extend over some of the tighter alleyways, hunched like patriarchs, to the occasional haphazard tent displaying foreign silks gleaming in the milky sun. Yet, amid the organized chaos, a humorous realization dawns on you. These streets are alive, throbbing almost like the veins of some immense, breathing creature that consumes, regurgitates, and thrives upon the constant motion of its inhabitants. Each day presents a peculiar challenge. Perhaps it's dodging the hurried baker with flour-dusted onslaughts, enduring the impromptu lull of a roaming minstrel, or enduring a particularly dense crowd, when a noble parade upends your route with pomp and pageantry. The urban environment also dictates the cadence of your work. Economic ebbs and flows reverberate through the city like a pulse, the weight of its residents' diverse backgrounds contributing to a dynamic fashion scene marked by shifts in style, color, and embellishment. It's a collective exchange of ideas and an ideal setting for a tailor to hone their skills, even if it comes at the expense of personal space and solitude. Amidst these threads of urban tapestry lies the odd quirk or two. For instance, a joke among tailors persists about the unexpected fashion trends inspired by architecture. You'll hear whispers of the pointed arch dress sleeves from those inspired by the nearby cathedral architecture. But these sillier inspirations are more than merely entertaining. They're often quite lucrative, providing amusing points of conversation with your patrons. As dusk begins to fall, the city changes yet again, donning an entirely new cloak as lanterns flicker to life and shadows lengthen along the cobbles. Here in the city, you perpetually dance on the edge of an ever-changing landscape, and within your fabric, thread, and needle lies both survival and artistry. Just as garments must adapt to the wearer's form, so must you adapt to the fluctuating hum of the urban world, a world teetering simultaneously on the brink of despair and grandeur. In the dim twilight, the city lights gently illuminate a path back to your workshop. With each step, you weave memories of another day into the tapestry of your existence, a day marked by laughter, challenge, and the peculiar beauty of the medieval urban jungle. As your footsteps echo through the worn cobblestones, you find yourself contemplating the unseen forces that shape your life each day. Guilds. In medieval society, these guilds are the invisible threads interwoven into the fabric of everyday life, constructing a framework as intricate as the patterns stitched into your garments. To be a tailor is to be molded and influenced by these powerful institutions, perpetually swaying between camaraderie and rivalry. Guilds are the beating heart of medieval trade, vested with the dual role of protector and regulator. They are the arbiters of standards, ensuring that every item produced within their remit bears the mark of quality and craftsmanship. Through years of honing your skills, the guild becomes your badge of credibility, a hallmark presented with pride and recognized by all from the spirited commoner to the discerning noble. Your craft must meet exacting standards, and any deviation risks stern reprimands, or even worse, expulsion, leaving you adrift without the guild's supportive network. However, the reality of guild membership is a harsher mistress than any fairy tale depicts. It is an arena of competition, where master tailors vie for prestige, clients, and the hard-earned coin. With crafts secured behind closed doors and techniques guarded as family secrets, camaraderie exists in a shaky truce, thinly veiling the constant underpinnings of rivalry. Guild rules are porcelain, barrier frail yet definitive, dictating the materials you use, your prices, and the types of garments you produce. The politics within them mimic the intrigue of royal courts, each accusation or maneuver an opportunity to rise or fall. Yet these guilds are more than trade associations. They shape the very soul of social belonging. In teetering on the brink of fellowship or isolation, you find the still unresolved debates over whether guilds nurtured true solidarity or mere opportunistic alliances. In those moments clustering around meeting tables or under bannered halls, there is debate over the notable irony that these fractious entities formed to regulate and guide the city's artisans point ever inward, consumed by their protectionist obsessions. Still, it's an environment rife with humor at times to break the tension more than anything else. An oft-quoted tailor's adage observes that a guild's grandest day is when members actually agree on something, a day more rare than any alignment of Saturn with Mars. This likely explains why laughter, jestful sparring, and satire are tailored alongside petty rivalries, tempering the edge with warmth where camaraderie alone falters. Even in rivalry, a shared purpose emerges. No matter how thick lies the competition among tailors, there lies an unsaid agreement. Better the stitches are made of fine thread than lies unraveling, ensuring clients come for finery and not foppery, dressed in deceit. The weight of such responsibility may lead one to jest that it takes but a tailor's scissors to cut through bureaucratic knots creatively devised to impede rather than facilitate potential. Despite the conflicts and complexities, guilds emblazon their mark on the cultural and professional landscape, each day shaping, tailoring, and trade more indelibly than the attire you craft. They are the fierce guardians at the gate of progress, holding on to traditions while occasionally, begrudgingly allowing innovation to pass. As you reflect on your own place within this storied system, a dense drumbeat of trudging hooves and clattering carriages guides your thoughts back into the city streets. Your guild hall looms as a somber silhouette, its familiar fortress-like form, a reminder that while the world outside buzzes with unpredictability, here stands a bastion of order, of continuity. Daylight wanes, and the hall slowly fills with echoes of tailors' debates, silhouettes flitting past candlelight like curtained ghosts. Tonight, camaraderie will tempestuously mingle with contention, a tapestry ever frayed, yet never undone. Cycles of time entangled in guild and trade. As you bid farewell to colleagues in the fading light, you carry the weight of the guild back to your work, joining together yet another line of thread in the fabric of endless nights and sunlit workshops. Each patch of that quilt, vibrant and varied, tells a tale of artisanship-crafted stories of human hands reaching through time, binding collective destinies by needles spun from steel. As you return to the familiar embrace of your workshop, the ever-present hum of the city wraps around you like a well-worn cloak. Yet, in a world dictated by threads and seams, nothing is more transient, fickle, and unpredictable than the whims of fashion. Medieval fashion is as much a reflection of societal oscillations as it is an art of rebellion, and as a tailor, you find yourself delicately balanced on this riotous carousel of trends ever spinning and never quite stopping. Fashion's face in medieval times is one of contradiction. As you unroll fabric, you remember how attire mirrors the very spirit of the age, a cudgel, as potent as a sword in defying or displaying allegiance to rulers, religion, or rebellion against norms. The dance of fashion is one where the constant twirls of silhouette, color, and design hint at power plays rooted deeper than decoration. Today, garments might sport sleeves so long they kiss the floor, a trend noblewomen embrace to flaunt their prosperity, ignoring the impracticality that renders them servants' bane during banquets. Yet tomorrow, sleeves shorten, a practical evolution reflecting another whispered change in the societal tides or the needs of everyday life. Consider the iconic houppelande, with its exaggerated silhouette offering a commanding presence, favored by the elite to assert dominance beneath high roofs. Its voluminous folds declare not just wealth, but autonomy over fabric once hard-won through trades and treaties. As you fit fabric to form, your thoughts linger on historians still arguing whether such opulence indicated only the whims of luxury or a calculated conquest over bias and tradition. For tailors like you, this pervading volatility isn't merely a challenge, it requires a unique blend of adaptability and foresight, always trying to stay one step ahead, lest you become obsolete in your craft. As trends wax and wane faster than ever, you chuckle at the ironia. Common quip shared among tailors is that fashion holds only one constant, its incessant need to be reimagined with each sunrise. Yet at the heart of this sartorial flux is an exciting dynamism, a playground where creativity mingles with status and identity. The patrons arriving at your door carry ideas more ambitious than their predecessors, wishing to joust on the tourney grounds of style and refinement, with orders that challenge seam, stitch, and needle alike. And just as the constellations above shift in their infinite trajectory, so too does medieval attire reflect the broader horizons of the world increasingly aware of the influences and desires pressing beyond idyllic hamlets. Foreign envoys bring tales embroidered with distant embellishments, sparking localized trends that ripple across your realm. From the silk-famed East comes a penchant for lavish embroidery and intricate decoration, weaving glimmers of foreign aristocracy into the homespun intimacy of native garb. While these shifts in style may seem as arbitrary as a jester's jig, each tells a larger narrative about the delicate balance of social contracts, structural change, and evolving tastes. It's no wonder that scholars muse over whether such fluctuations created fashion's finest renaissance or its most capricious collapse. In some moments, you might catch yourself rather smugly, amused the changeable nature of these preferences, forces even those at the peak of society to adapt alongside tailors. After all, no one can afford to be out of vogue when appearances govern the perception of power, an evergreen reality as daunting to the medieval court as to today's boardroom. As you close another day, you reflect how fashion, much like your own nimble needlework, is both created and creator, ever elusive, yet never entirely out of grasp. Therein lies the secret delight. Fashion's whims remind each tailor of both the frustration and fascination of their craft. By tuck and fold, stitch and adornment, with every passing shade and silhouette, you help shape the era's essence, weaving the spirit of the age into the garments, into the fabric of history itself. With threads of whimsy and wit running alongside traditional boundaries, the echoes of past and present mingle softly amid shadowed shop corners. As evening falls, you wonder what tomorrow's fashion will bring, and, with it, the suspects, surprises, and stories yet to be told through sewing's silent silhouette. What remains unspoken, an unbroken binding through time, assures that while fashion's face may ever change, its soul endures of a patchwork quilt of humanity's grandest gestures. As you plunge deeper into the heart of your craft, the demands of royalty and nobility unfurl before you, like the scrolls of legendary conquests. Creating garments for the upper echelons of society is a task fraught with expectations as ostentatious as the garments themselves. Here, fashion transcends mere attire and morphs into an expression of power, prestige, and dominance. Every commission for the nobility is akin to a royal simonza, beckoning that occupies both your loom and mind with an iron grip, dictating designs as imposing as any palace edict. From the outset, these projects are as daunting as they are exhilarating. The request for an ensemble dripping in opulence can transform your humble workshop into the stage for a medieval symphony of ambition and artifice. But first, let's venture into the storytelling heart of the noble wardrobe, where cloth becomes a canvas for narratives spun by monarchs and maesters alike. The royal sense of fashion is nothing short of theatrical display, meant to communicate authority and dazzle the senses, ensuring that, when a king or queen enters a hall, every hem and thread speaks of their sovereign stature. Yet, buried inside this opulence, lies a cunning political strategy. After all, if clothes make the man, or ruler, what better way to project domination than through garments that blind and bedazzle? The task to create such artistry falls, of course, to tailors like you, a responsibility as sizable as the fabric bolts littering your workspace. With nobles ensconced in their exalted realms of conspicuous consumption, your work must adhere to standards dictated by tradition and taste alike. Leverage your shears and sewing needles not just to cut and stitch, but to craft masterpieces that beguile the eye and command admiration, a task demanding a firm hand and an artist's heart. It's where the comic permeates into the stress of imperfection. No pressure. You might muse mid-stitch. But if that thread snaps, I could lose my head. No jest taken lightly, especially when facing a duke whose reputation precedes him like a gilded tapestry unfurled. Yet, irony also clings to these endeavors. Despite your awareness of the delicate art required, the select few tapestry-cloaked clientele within your circle often lack a modicum of patience for their creation. The perpetually changing whims of courtier fashion ensure a never-ending cycle of demands and adjustments, reminding you that yesterday's perfected masterpiece is but tomorrow's relic. Historians still argue whether these extravagant displays contributed to the swift cultural shifts experienced in European courts, or if they were merely personal indulgences of the aristocracy. Whatever the case, you are an integral cog in this grand machinier builder of illusions that captivate and distract, transforming the very nature of milieu performance. Luckily, alongside the high stakes comes a certain allure. The chance to work with expensive brocades, embroidered silks, and vibrantly dyed velvets extending before you like an unending corridor. These materials grant you fleeting solace as you ply your trade, permitting genuine moments of peace amid the chaos of whispered extravagance. There's a pleasure found in the texture and color, a soothing certainty to glossy surfaces that glisten beneath lamplight. Within the extravagant yet demanding task you bear stands a secret reality. You know the truth behind every carefully sculpted sleeve, the small imperfections hidden within seams, or the extra ornamental flourish strategically positioned to hide a misunderstood measurement. Perhaps it's these clandestine triumphs that lend you a jocular calm, even when consumed by work so ambitious it rivals legend. Yet, no amount of stress can tarnish the deep pride felt when the final piece emerges from your Hansard garment, steeped in the promise of awe and authority, ready to cloak the next ruler or grand earl. As the comfortably worn tool's sanctuary beside laughter and accomplishment, you understand the ultimate truth. In clothing royalty, you cloak not just bodies, but a broader drama, regal facade that shifts galas and gardens into timeless theatres of power. As the dusk saunters in, and the opulent robes hang angled over chairs and mannequins, faint echoes from distant courtly corridors resonate with whispered stories of sumptuous satin and gleaming gold braid. They too play their parts in the grand pageant that wears on through the ages. Returning your gaze to this sartorial feat, laughter serves like an embroidered handkerchief, reveling in imperfection's secret grace, welcoming the joyous chaos encircling a world dressed old and new, forever waiting, yearning, and shimmering amid courts painted with color and design dreams. Back in your dimly lit workshop, a stray beam of sunlight reaches across the room, illuminating the labor-worn surfaces and the piles of awaited work. Your life as a tailor is not just about the glamorous task of cladding royalty, is also about the ceaseless cycle of hard work and the all-too-tangible strains of medieval economics. Today, let's unravel the frayed threads of a tailor's daily life, frayed from laboring long hours under the constant pressure for fair wages. Situated at the intersection of artistry and trade, opposing forces wage their inevitable battle clash between the rich tapestry of creation and the bare-bones negotiation of compensation. As a tailor, your skillful hands transform fabric into fashion, but the fruits of your labor are often subject to the whims of barter and trade. Earning a decent income is a feat more challenging than threading the finest needle, and your finances are as tightly stretched as the fabric on your frame. Your income is dictated by several factors: the materials you use, the clientele you serve, and, most consistently, the value of manual labor at any given time. Each negotiation brings you face to face with the harsh realities of commerce. There's a delicate dance of diplomacy, humorously characterized by the jest of, "Would you like another coat with that? Because bartering for one garment nearly buys me half a carrot." The daily balance can become a cruel paradoxal world in which the more intricate the garment, the greater the potential loss. The wealthier the client, often the more stringent the terms, these commissions often teetering on the edge of profit and perdition. Are they paying for artistry, or simply for artistry's impression? With every deal, you navigate the labyrinth where each stitch added potentially chips away at economic feasibility. Amid this conflicting dynamic lies a quiet revelation. Your craft is seen through varying lenses. Those who understand the effort required recognize the value you bring. Yet, the shadows of negotiated payments linger above the exchange, a reminder of the dominating question historians often ponder. Was the medieval tailoring profession a respectable occupation, or merely a soldering job for the gentry? To this day, opinions vary. The stark contrast between tailors' income levels mirrors the social dividia tale whispered by those who remind us the day a merchant argued for a tailor's price reduction after a hem was found to be not dashing enough for his liking. You learn quickly that convincing patrons of your worth is an art in itself, a test rivaled only by the complexity of the attire. Beyond the transactional, various elements add fuel to the economic fire. Taxes and tithes that clutch a share of your earnings. Rising costs of raw materials tight-fisted by preying traders with eyes ever set on higher margins, and the whims of fashion fluctuations, where predicting a season ahead holds no guarantee against style's crueler whims that cast past work to the stenographer's floor. Despite the challenges, the rewards of your pursuit beat on. A well-crafted garment, glinting under a feast's flickering candlelight, hauling admirers on its train, evokes vivid expressions of amazement and appreciation, a momentary payoff that ignites the ember of satisfaction at your heart. Similar to unwieldy tools cut from heavy-duty metal, offering unexpected grace, the compliments bestowed upon your craftsmanship almost inevitably surpass the dour constraints of a system that leans heavily on endurance. One open scholarly debate suggests that medieval tailors occupied a space neither romanticized artifice nor itinerant laborers, but rather were vital artisans who connected communities, a theory that underscores the eloquence of each creation, beheld by friend or esteemed client alike. This central question raises another contrasting reality: whether a tailor's life was so mundane and financially challenged that joy came not from tailoring's result, but from its supposed impotence. In those quieter pauses amid delivery commitments, a quieter humor lifts your spirits, as does your needlelight placates wavering thoughts. "Don't moat over porch prices," jests muttered, as Sauvignon sunsets dilute into dawn's breaks. Each article toggles an unspoken appreciation, unseen between pay slips a balance, that tips in favor of intangibles like pride, perseverance, and the silent yet significant satisfactions woven into humanity's great crests. As you close out this reflection, carrying forth folds of the evening shadows reshaping your room, embattled in expectation as you, once more, tuck skeins and acceptance into place for the morrow's coming work. Within this twilight, appreciation finds itself inward the unseen stature left after another day of your truest work. Another stretch of seam met life's line. Each waking day obliges you. Awaken, toil, shape destiny within deft hands. The noblest sacrosanct chord propels you onward, having survived eternally within life's own costly weaver resplendent beneath everyday survival's finished hem. As the first light of dawn peeks through the narrow openings of your workshop, it softly illuminates the spools of thread and the bolts of cloth you will soon transform into tangible forms of expression. Among the many influences that shape your creations, none is as profound as religion, a force that dictates the rhythms of life and, inevitably, the threads that weave through it. In medieval Europe, religion blankets every aspect of society like a comforting yet imposing cloak. Its impact on clothing is omnipresent, whispering silent messages through the drapery and styles dictated by ecclesiastical edicts. Each garment carries connotations deeper than mere fabric, echoing the storied traditions and devotional expressions of faith. The Church's influence is everywhere, and its dictates are woven into the fabric of your existence right down to the tunics and hoods threading through your hands. The vestments for priests and the religious orders demand a respect for simplicity and humility, as much stylistic as doctrinal. Here, simplicity reigns, embracing earth tones and unadorned threads, communicating a deeper connection with humility and poverty. Yet, the humble robes of the clergy are not where the Church's sartorial influence ends. Religious iconography has given birth to its own kind of fashion that seamlessly blends sacred symbolism with everyday attire. Vestments are both practical and mythical, embodying the vestiges of the divine. Whether sewing cross-emblazoned surplices for devout parishioners or rich mantles for abbots, each stitch whispers history and spirituality in equal measure. Religious festivals also bring a colourful burst of creativity. During feasts and celebrations, even humble garments may acquire a touch of opulence, with gold threads and intricate embroidery, revealing scenes of biblical splendour every bit as vivid as those painted on church walls. Such occasions encourage a blend of theatricality and piety, turning city streets into pilgrim pathways in their own right. Humour finds its place here, as well often noted that nothing could make a man more holy than a doublet woven with enough gold thread to dazzle even the saints. Still, the pious threads of religious dressing do not always align harmoniously with the secular tastes of the populace. The tension between ecclesiastic modesty and lay fashion are never far apart. This contrast fuels an open, scholarly debate. Do clothing regulations imposed by the Church deter vanity, or simply simmer into more creative expressions of restrained opulence among the lay? Despite these theological tussles, tailors like you must discern between a frock dictated by clerical insistence and a parishioner's preference for flamboyance in faith. You wonder at times whether the intersection between piety and display creates more enigmas than solutions. For each garment must please its wearer, yet simultaneously visit the altar of sacred adherence. Every order provides an opportunity to balance reverence with the personal, nudging the boundary of both, guided by laws unheeded, lest one be drawn into the trap of style in place of grace. Imagine the subtle symbolism each vestment holds. For the clerics, it's a reminder of indifferent temporalities, of order, of peace. For the lay populace, it's an echo of continuity, embracing the divine amidst the daily dressing down of human foibles. These garments traverse a shared path, much like the one between parish walls and the realms of earthly work, that path where the divine hugs close yet teases forward. The night will give way to another bustling day, a wave of shawls, habits, and mantles to turn your faithful muse once more a delicate task that requires as much soul as skill. As candles flicker and corridors echo with anticipatory murmurs, through the spiritual strength of your work and the garments draped by its grace, you find a reflection of unitia coexistence sown with care. Clothing becomes a silent homily, a testament embodying all that a tailor whispers into creation, humility wrapped in humanity's joyous chaos, transcending beneath a celestial embrace. It tightens up loose threads, plants roots into moral ground pieces that layer stories amid the robust liturgy of law and litany, postulated before the tailor's altar once more. As morning dew settles upon the panes, you fold your hands around the day's worn edges, anticipating the sacred journey into the labyrinthine landscape of fibers. From cathedrals to corner chapels, castles to cloisters, through enchanted garments born of faith's shiny attire, you, the medieval tailor, are an artisan spun into time's own tapestry, needle's hymn, an echo of seamless devotion. The city awakens as you step outside, where the pulse of medieval life courses through the streets before you. In this world, clothing is more than mere fashion. It's a declaration of identity, signaling one's place within a deeply stratified society. As you navigate the bustling throng, the diverse patchwork of fabrics and styles tells a silent narrative, one where social classes intersect and weave together through the artistry of your craft. For a medieval tailor, clothing is not simply clothing. It's a distinctive marker of social standing, the colors, materials, and styles of each garment serving as a coded language understood by all. From the humblest of peasants to the loftiest of lords, attire reveals more about them than words ever could. A peasant's garb is modest, practical, and simplistic homespun wool tunics and coarse burlap dresses are the uniform of daily toil. These garments reflect their lives of labor and necessity, stitched together with easily available fibers and lacking superfluous embellishment. Brown, olivaceous hues blend like fields aglow with a timeless nod to earth. In contrast stands the mercantile middle class, a rising demographic with newfound access to a broader spectrum of fashion. With commerce as their backbone, merchants often opt for garments that simultaneously mirth simplicity and display an underlying sense of ambition. Their clothing is brighter, boasting colors made possible by imported dye. Historical fact, indicating the way trade routes evolved to inject textiles with vibrancy. The nobility, of course, occupies the pinnacle of sartorial splendor, draped in fine silks and velvets, resplendent with rich embroidery and luxuriant appliques that elevate attire to works of art. Their clothing styles are intricate and ever-changing, mirroring court politics and rival factions as much as personal taste. Fashion's fineries are as much a tapestry of hierarchical commentary and diplomatic statement. The king's wardrobe, a subtle negotiation between desire and decorum. It's a dance conducted down the winding lanes where class boundaries are felt but often blur. It's these complex interconnections that make the work of a tailor so compelling. After all, garments become the bridges spanning two disparate worlds. Your needle and thread must navigate this social tapestry, mastering the delicate intricacy that beneath each hem lies threads of envy, aspirations, and dignity. Ironically, even those who declared such distinctions between themselves often shared the same tailor's hands. Wandering noble and wealthy widow alike turned to tailors for both utility and flourish, a testament to the inherently leveling truth that all desired a handcrafted garment to exact specifications. A jest among tailors once had it that a finer piece of cloth could as well dress a pauper as a prince, provided you add enough ribbons to blind either man. Historians continue to debate the transformative role of clothing, questioning whether these tangible symbols of class identity constrained social mobility or rather provided the aspirations needed to rise within society through the centuries. The debate unfolds much like a conversation between elegant tapestries and the plain tunics wandering about beneath them, neither fully aware of the other's muttered musings. As you walk through the clamor and color of medieval day-to-day life, an appreciation grows not simply for the garments themselves, but for the unending dialogue between people and textiles. In this bustling world of circumstances, attire is the meditation of both vanity and livelihood, and needle by needle, seam by seam, you help this story unfold. With each patron interaction, the rowdy laughter of a newfound merchant or the quiet dignity of a grown lord once again stands before you, coaxing your dexterous craft into realms of skilled eloquence. Whether simple rusticity or elaborate indulgence, You facilitate an expression that stitches communal identity while meeting individual expressive desires. As dusk descends, the lanes are cast in a bath of warm ochre, erasing the visual signs of hierarchy and unifying silhouettes in secretive twilight. In the pale, dancing glow of candlelight, your workshop becomes a microcosm of social reflection. Clothing, like language, unifies and separates, whispers the truths of life, and embarks once more into the unknown night. Through the raw ebb and flow of fabric, beneath social chains stretching into the mists of embroidered origins, you uncover a deeper understanding. World not solely divided by class, if elegance extends through everyday valor. Within each stitch lies awareness, every hemline, another seeking hand desiring union. Beneath the mantle of day, the echoes of existence resonate within each delicate pulling thread of life. As you slip back into the confines of your workshop, the familiar scent of fabric greets you, a mingling fragrance of wool, dye, and the musty remnants of medieval life. The demands of the day have ripened inside each folded bolt of cloth, yet beneath the looming piles lies a tale often overlooked. The physical challenges and hazards that came hand in hand with your craft, a reality as prickly as the infamous wool fibers you handle. Wool, the very lifeblood of your industry, fills the air with a persistent and itchy presence that seems to linger like an unwanted guest. Working with it daily takes its toll on any tailor. As you ply your trade, you feel the soft tickle, evolving into an incessant itch that marks every industrious effort. Many artisans develop affinity for jest amidst the warmth of wool's tactile discontent, coining that a true tailor's dedication is measured by his silent itch. But wool is only one part of the tale. The ever-present hazards of your occupation come in all textures. Scissors, those loyal companions, hold a secret menace. Their sharp edges testify strongly against the careless or the tired. A single lapse in attention sends metallic bites to your fingers, a reminder that efficiency doesn't come without risks. The dim lighting of your workshop, a setting dictated by candle-lit necessity, keeps you straining your eyes long after they demand respite, weaving the morning rise with the threadbare dew of eyelids closed on tiresome dawn. This perpetual squinting journey leaves its lasting mark. Historians still argue whether similarly strained eyesight among artisans contributed to the declining visibility in medieval life as daylight spent itself through smoky haze and candle wax. Handling dyes is yet another professional peril. The vibrancy you coax from these pigments comes with hidden dangers. Made from minerals, plants, and some less pleasant origins, their application sometimes releases pungent aromas, tinges of mordant salts coiling through the air. An unrestrained waft can overwhelm, leaving your senses besieged by a nascent fog. Tales ripple through the streets of dyers, unfortunate enough to overlook safety, going home with unsought colors staining their skin. For many tailors, furs are another curious encounter. Desired by nobles and rulers, fur-lined cloaks are luxurious to wear, but treacherous to create. The process of turning raw pelts into usable linings fills the air with seasonal chills, leaving nimble fingers cold-locked amidst the Warisa tactile adventure, inspiring its own kind of folklore. Juggling these demanding materials requires not just skill, but a fortitude tempered by humor. A playful narrative murmurs among tailors, let the fabric mock you, yet never let it pull you out threadbare. Laughs accompany tales of chasing elusive fabric ends, binding espoused ambition with ghosts of vision across needles strewn amidst the morning's calling silence. The physical demands of tailoring are ever-present reminders of the toil behind the artistry. Yet, these challenges reveal nuances of resilience that, once conquered, elevate the tailor from mere craftsman to enduring artisans. Each piece represents triumph over the obstinate reluctance of materials, refusing discomfort its victory. As night encroaches, returning warmth seeps throughout your work. Though you wear the marks like so many badges of commitment, chafed hands, red-rimmed eyes, fading colors dancing beneath your fingernails, they sing decidedly against encumbered existence. An existence rooted through the centuries, whispering stories of survival and innovation, lining the shadows of decrepit workshops with tales stitched in twilight hues. Gone is the itch, pacified by production, and even the scratch imposed by demanding scissor hands, They relent their heavy hours of taxing labor in silent recognition of creation's ultimate allure. You read the shifting light's passage, and with each encroachment of darkness, breathe freely into reprieve. Thankful for shadow's folds, for their consumption of day's taxing scars, you curl humble spirit upon the wool's rest, knowing that what remains unfrayed might yet uncoil surprise come the morning tide. In weaving story and stretch, through warp, weft, stitch, and seam find enduring warmth in the faithful laughter tethered by moments of shared consequence. With the symphony of tailors crafting tapestry upon a world carved by labor's shepherding needles, the garments shelter shared humanity, that close but often overlooked bond. As dawn crafts its gentle glow across the medieval city, you pause to reflect on the tapestry of voices threading through your workshop. Among these echoes, the often silent hum of women contributes to the rhythm of tailoring, a hum that holds its own story, stitching through history, hidden in the shadows, yet invaluable in all its nuance and necessity. Women in medieval tailoring are the quiet artisans, the undercurrent enhancing the craft with deft hands and quiet skill. In this world marked by stringent roles, they dwell within the space given by societal confines, ingeniously carving niches in workshops, households, and marketplace stalls. Rarely at the forefront, women nevertheless form the backbone upon which much of the tailor's craft is balanced. In many ways, the life of a female tailor in medieval Europe is as intricate as the patterns she weaves. Women are often relegated to the fringes of the official guilds, which steer the trajectory of tailoring, constrained by rules and regulations that dictate male dominance in most commercial and skilled trades. Despite being outcasts in such structured environments, women persist and prevail, often working alongside male relatives or within clandestine niche circles. This is a space where historians still argue whether their contributions were acted as mere labor or stood beyond traditional constraints. To subvert the norm, many women learn to leverage their sewing acumen to engage in the mending and production of everyday garments, passionately countering societal restrictions with this subversive savoir-faire. Their days are filled with dye-stained fingers and innumerable stitches, as they balance domestic responsibilities with earning whatever income the family trade can muster. While noble women pursue embroidery as a pastime, women of lower social standing become the silent seamstresses, sewing the threads that hold communities together. There's a certain humor in knowing that even amid stern social structures, industrious women found creative paths to participation, sewing snubs against their perceived obscurity with repeated resilience. A comedic anecdote shared amongst them suggests that if tailors are purveyors of garments, women are the invisible stitch binding, visible vestments to invisible lives within. Amidst societal scrutiny, there exists a realm of female solidarity woven through their shared labor. They teach each other secrets of hems and embroidery, sparking innovation in fabric, texture, and style-quiet artisanship, building courage and community in place of applause. Elsewhere, opportunities for exceptions exist. Some guilds, like the silk weavers in Paris, allow women inside a poignant privilege sought by those skilled enough to justify and elude imposed boundaries. The labor of these women often diverges into pathways that may, humorously, lead to unexpected ventures, from mending local heartstrings to crafting the secret pockets often required by discretion. Behind closed doors, they work on personal projects, crafting garments for their own families or weaving favors for court pleasures. A touch of divine skill grants women their place in ceremonies, from times of birth to burial, omen-stitched motif, mirrored by events far loftier than what daily life alone could offer. Yet, beneath society's seemingly brooding silence, the truth of universal experience endures. Women recognize a fundamental connection shared amongst all who gather cloth. For every daughter who stitches beside her mother, a young woman finds empowerment where guilds might not. As you glance into the warm shadows of your space, there rests wisdom earned through determined hands, echoing between time-worn planks and threads, trailing through history's softened edges. As dusk descends, lingering faces and sounds borne by women's toil cocoon, the rumor-spirited company weaving wisdom alongside sturdy wool and intricate tweed, opening a door to tradition from needle to needle ensures that while women may appear silent within the grander chronicles, Their resilience, creativity, and contributions soar beyond oft-lit page, and perchance fuel the oft-untold legend. With each night's closing breath, the legacy of women resonates quietly within the workshop's sewn rhythms. In labor's gentle din, they foster companionship, as patterns echo twicefold, fashioned by hands that refuted invisibility and crafted fiercely amidst reticent joy, unbroken legacy of hands that courageously clasp heart alongside dedication, forever binding the narrative of every tailor's tale yet unwritten, unseen yet keenly observed, as enduring monuments of skill and grace. The first glimmers of morning light filter through the narrow windows of your workshop, highlighting the kaleidoscopic array of textiles that evoke tales of distant lands. As you navigate the folds of silk and wool, each piece tells of a relentless pursuit of knowledge and a confluence of cultures that have enriched the art of tailoring. Today, your focus turns to the diverse array of techniques that have woven a tapestry stretching from the east to the west, a journey of discovery and adaptation across continents. In the medieval world, tailoring is as much about innovation as it is about tradition. The paths traveled by traders, explorers, and artisans alike create a rich tapestry of cultural exchange. It is within this interwoven world that you find yourself not just a tailor, but a modulator of foreign whispers into local dialects of style, texture, and technique. Within your workspace, you see evidence of these far-reaching influences. From the East comes the treasured knowledge of silk production. The ancient craft of sericulture, or silk farming, traveled through the web of trade routes, leaving a lustrous legacy. The gossamer threads of this regal fabric are a testament to delicate expertise and an understanding refined over centuries, a historical fact that irrevocably enriches the European palate for opulence. Your shelves feature damasks and brocades that owe their vibrant presence to the master textile weavers of Byzantium, whose elaborate patterns are formed on richly woven fabric like echoes from the halls of emperors. Crafted into garments, they are treasured gifts that impart a regal air to their wearers, whispering stories of Byzantine grandeur even in distant lands. To modern Western techniques, each new culture contributes its singular ingenuity. Italian tailors revere the fine art of cutting, tailoring garments that demonstrate an unmatched precision which has become legendary along the cobblestone streets of Florence. The joke is always that the Italians see fabric as their own Renaissance paintings, a canvas, not merely sewn, but transformed into wearable art. The East, too, gifts secrets of silhouette manipulation and fabric dyeing, sparking wonder in the hands of European artisans who keenly adapt them to flatter the natural form. Persian and Islamic influences imprint on fabric through detailed motifs, sophisticated embroidery, and vibrant dye techniques that make your creations vivid narrators of cross-continental exchange. Historians still argue whether these influences stemmed from peaceful cultural exchanges or were the result of more aggressive conquests and coercions. Yet, one thing is certain: the melding of ideas surpasses the boundaries imposed by geography. Each hook, dart, and gathering technique is as much a story of adaptation as it is a testament to your resilience and artistry. The legendary tailoring trick of bias, cutting, achieving a stretch flattering to the human form, speaks to the universal tailor's desire for innovation. British inventions, such as the tailored doublet, stand as heartening symbols of ingenuity, bringing structure that complements the body beneath. Across Europe, the interplay between tailoring cultures crafts new silhouettes, tailored to the contours of both wearer and wearer's world. The artistry of tailoring isn't bound solely by fabric or technique. It is also shaped by the interactions, whispers, and ultimately the handshakes between differing societies, cultivating a continuous stream of knowledge and evolving styles. The alcove of your workshop sings with this heritage ear, perpetually welcoming hearth, inviting discovery to weave alongside heritage. Varieties of fabric adorn your space, accompanied by the perfume of farewells from faraway market seats. Peace as much an adventure as the next tale yet to be told through fabric and thread. Your dexterous hands craft these fabrics into fashion, each stitch echoing the unspoken dialogue between shared pursuit and distinguished expertise on either side of many seas. As dusk washes over you, shrouding your workshop in a meditative twilight, Shadows reach across your face, their touch a harmonious embrace of time and textiles. The multicultural odyssey within fabric and design reveals itself to you as both a silent discourse, yet resoundingly voiced, if only heard alongside the rustling of cloth in evening breezes, where you find that hum of contentment, a gentle hymn binding stories beyond borders. Across this world of tactile splendor, your navel gaze seeks the needle that stitches not just articles of clothing, but the essence of universality, ever aware of the broader palette whose boundless phases hold fashion's grander brush, a canvas unfolded upon the artistry of tailored ambition. And therein lies the allure calling to your crafter, and yet also ever elsewhere. As the pale dawn light nudges through your shutters, you turn your thoughts away from the far-off influences and cultural exchanges that have enriched your craft, and direct them inward toward the very foundations of the tailoring profession apprenticeship. In medieval society, becoming a tailor is not simply a choice, but a commitment, one born through an oftentimes tedious, painstaking apprenticeship, a rite of passage that separates the novice from the craftsman. Imagine emerging as a fresh-faced apprentice, hopeful and eager, yet entirely unaware of the years of diligent tutelage that await. The tailor's workshop becomes both your schoolroom and your dormitory, a universe hemmed in by its four wooden walls and the busy commotion of shears clattering in time with your master's instructions. Apprenticeship, in its essence, is a trial of endurance. As you trudge through those initial days, you find every small success hard-won, gained only through hours spent laboring over basics, mastering the mundane tasks, often overlooked by the final flourish of a tailor's craft. The apprenticeship system is designed to impart not just skills, but patience and resilience. Throughout the years, you learn every aspect of the trade, from the foundation of the simple stitch to the complexities of working with the resplendent silks and velvets coveted by the nobility. Your master guides you, correcting every slip of the shears, every uneven seam, and every crooked hem, ensuring that no garment leaves the workshop bearing any mark of mistake, a hallmark of quality etched into every line and curve. The rigorous training regimen is coupled with a long list of rather mundane chores. You're responsible not only for assisting in stitching and cutting, but also for maintaining the workshop's tidiness. Jokingly, it's said that apprentice tailors could quickly tell whether the floor had been swept by consulting the trail of pins it leaves across their shoes. But there is a deeper purpose to these tasks. They instill a work ethic and a familiarity with the tools and textiles that builds the foundation of your craftsmanship. Yet, the life of an apprentice is not without its share of humor and camaraderie. Those long hours are punctuated by humorous anecdotes traded among fellow apprentices, moments of mirth that inspire resilience, legends of a master tailor who accidentally stitched his robe's hem to a passing cat's tail, or the infamous tale of accidental dye spills that turned a lordly doublet an accidental shade of pickle green, bring laughter and camaraderie to counteract the oft-repeated slog of the day. Historians continue to debate the economic impact of medieval apprenticeships. Were these systems innovative training models, or were they merely disguised labor sources for exploitative masters? Encountering both the virtues and vices of their training, apprentices often emerge with a host of tales to tell and, for some, a lifelong passion for the craft. As the years passand, the echo of your apprentice years fade you, find yourself tested and tried. There arrives a day when your apprenticeship ends, marked by the presentation of an exam piece, a testament of skill. The successful completion confers upon you a rite of passage, earning you the title Journeyman, a recognition of your competence and the freedom to deepen your craft under your own banner. Underneath the structure of apprenticeship lies an unspoken truth. The journey from eager novice to seasoned tailor is not solely about acquiring dexterous fingers and steady hands. It is a map to understanding one's own place within a craft that reverberates through generations, a call that transcends borders and ages yet remains intimately personal. As night falls upon another apprentice dawn, the memories of learning reverberate warmly through your workshop, a paean to your youthful endeavors, now etched deeply into patterns passed down along stitches sewn with permanence. In the shadowed corners of your heart, between reflections and ruminations of cloth winding like pathstones, exists the understanding of tradition, an idea passed down, worth remembering. The closing light offers comfort as you part the curtain of twilight through patience and perseverance. You craft garments, but also journey through the threads of legacy. Apprentice laughter refrains from echoing into night beneath lunar behest, as shadows mould upon childhood wonders, leaving whispered guidance among folded clother. Master's hand still firmly grasps, even as freedom laps beneath dawn's gate. As the first light of day spills across your workshop, transforming it into a haven of possibility and creativity, you are reminded of the powerful influence of religion, not only on fashion, but on the moral code that governs medieval life. Beyond the church bells ringing out their faithful rhythm, a cautionary voice echoes. The church's doctrines regarding attire are strict and interfere with the fabric of daily life, influencing a tailor's craft more than one might expect. In a world where clothing speaks silently but powerfully, the church looms as both guardian and critic, holding sway over fashion as it does over many aspects of medieval existence. For devout Christians, excessive finery is to be shunned, its allure as dangerous as any sin. Lavish garments, considered sins of pride and vanity, fall under scrutiny, their shimmering surfaces a distraction from the path of righteousness. Religious leaders wield an influence akin to earthly monarchs, guiding the moral compass toward modesty and temperance, dictated by sumptuary edicts that attempt to reflect divine law. Tailors like you must navigate this moral landscape carefully, ensuring that garments uphold the requisite level of modesty while meeting the tastes and desires of a clientele eager to express their individuality. Despite the strict warnings against excess, there are sanctioned occasions when opulence is permitted, even encouraged the church's own vestments, providing an example of this sartorial paradox. The vestments of priests and bishops can be richly adorned, embroidered with scenes of biblical inspiration that elevate the simple cloth to the ethereal. Yet, this sacred finery is reserved for those within the church, a reminder of the thin line between dignity and indulgence. The church's influence on fashion is ironically debated among historians today. Did the church's dictums keep society aligned with moral imperatives, or did they simply stoke the fires of ambition, encouraging surreptitious indulgence in defiance of austerity? The debate unravels much like a spool of thread, stretching through time and revealing the intricate patterns of human contradiction. For tailors, this presents a delicate balancing act. They must craft garments that satisfy both spiritual and secular patrons. It's a gentle dance of needle and thread, artfully concealing embellishments that court favor without inviting censure. Perhaps it is humor that best expresses the irony inherent in this task more than once. Tailors have been known to joke that the perfect garment is much like the Holy Grail, sought after by all, claimed by none, and fraught with nearly as much peril. While sumptuary laws categorize people by class, wardrobe choices also blur the lines between all classes' religiosity, evoking silent resistance across the land. As a tailor, you bear witness to the simmering tension that quietly shifts beneath the harmonious surface of parish law. Beneath the church's watchful gaze, nobles and commoners alike seek seams that scuttle between neo-reform and unapologetic splendor, secretly enticing a worldly faith unseen amidst midnight masses. And within your workshop, faith marries fashion in discreet elegance as colors once muted by day burst hidden at dusk. It falls upon you to allow the vibrant spirit of individuals to whisper beneath their humble moil. From understated elegance blooms a craft that swims currents of morality, braced against the whims of ecclesiastical enthusiasm. Each garment, an offering of devout discretion. As dusk settles in, casting long shadows across needle-adorned surfaces, you contemplate the woven tenets binding each creation. Eventually, a piece emerges sewn that allows the tailor's wit to acknowledge the nuanced negotiations inherent in such invisible threads. Encouraging balance nods amid debates of piety and pride, where CSS, church style's semaphore, reveals dimensions hidden beneath robes' folds and through time's unraveling tapestry's mark. Within these stitched dialogesa, transcendence blooms between twilight seeking dawn a horizon, adorned with faith-lined of reasons beautifully interlaced. In garments displayed and shadowed by confession, devotion that recognizes beauty, wedded to resolution the faith within the humble, gathers sense into sinning silhouettes kissed by conscience again. As the rosy hues of dawn emerge to welcome another day in the medieval city, your craft, much like the city itself, stands poised at the cusp of change. The middle class is Rasinga dynamic force, reshaping the landscape with ripples felt from the market stalls to the manor houses. This burgeoning class brings new desires and aspirations, influencing not only the economy but also the world of fashion, in which you, the tailor, play a pivotal role. The middle class, buoyed by trade and entrepreneurial ventures, is gaining economic power and social influence. This shift challenges the long-standing social order, blurring the rigid class lines that fashion has traditionally mirrored. With newfound wealth, merchants, entrepreneurs, and artisans seek to assert their standing, aspiring to adopt styles previously reserved for the nobility. Their demands drive the evolution of tailoring from a service centered on necessity to one increasingly focused on personal expression and luxury. Your workshop becomes a crucible for creativity and reinvention, where the desires of this rising class take form. As they flock to your door, their tastes are as varied as their backgrounds. Silk, velvet, and elaborate brocades are no longer the sole province of the aristocracy. Now, these materials drape the ambitious shoulders of successful merchants and tradesmen, reflective of their achievements and aspirations. This transformation in fashion reflects a larger societal trend, the idea that one's station is no longer fixed by birth, but can be forged through effort and ambition. In each stitch, you piece together more than garments. You stitch together dreams of transcendence. The patronage of the middle class empowers you, introducing an era of experimentation and innovation, where styles are born not just in courts but amidst the hustle of marketplaces and the hum of workshops. Yet this newfound sartorial freedom does not arrive without its challenges. As the middle class embraces fashion as a vessel for self-expression, navigating the terrain of societal norms becomes trickier. Sumptuary laws, designed to maintain class distinctions, now face the resistance of this empowered demographic, inspiring both subtle adjustments and audacious defiance. Tailors often share an amusing anecdote of a merchant who argued for the inclusion of peacock feathers in his hata symbol so extravagant that the request towed the line between ambition and folly. Such stories circulate widely, echoing an open scholarly debate. Do these increasingly elaborate garments symbolize upward mobility, or simply the folly and vanity inherent in human nature? These sartorial transformations resonate within the rhythm of everyday life. Clothing becomes not only a symbol of personal achievement, but also a reflection of the shared values and aspirations of the middle class. Each garment, crafted with care, remains a testament to their rising significance within society, manifestation of a collective identity born of commerce, enterprise, and ambition. As you engage with this new clientele, you find yourself in the role of advisor as often as artisan. Your creative input becomes invaluable, your handiwork seamlessly marrying function with fanciful flair. With each commission, you navigate the peculiar dance of aesthetics and utility, guiding patrons eager to traverse this brave new world of fashion. The humor embedded in your work reveals itself in simpler moments. Jesting refrain among tailors suggests that the middle class measures success by the number of extra layers their doublets can hide. These gentle barbs create a playful levity that reminds you, even in times of profound change, there will always be room for laughter and mirth. In the mosaic of city life, these moments are significant, and you, the tailor, are both witness and participant in this tapestry of transformation. Each day, you unite the past and the present through needle and thread, carving out opportunities as distinctly diverse as your patrons themselves. As twilight envelops the city and its restless ambitions settle with the coming of night, you find solace in the steady rhythm of your own creation. The middle class may challenge the status quo, but within this challenge lies a wealth of possibilities for those adventurous enough to seize them. Beneath the canvas of dusk, the quiet hum of commerce lilts through evening breezes, inviting reflection. In fashion's rising tide, you, the tailor, remain steadfast amid currents of change, shaping dreams into reality, stitching humanity's dynamic heartbeat-inspired garment at a time. Here, through a delicate tapestry of fabric and fate, lies the resonance of hopier harmony of aspirations beyond confines, spiriting those diverse souls together in woven authenticity throughout time's ever-turning page. As sunlight spills over the bustling medieval city, you, the tailor, find yourself navigating a realm not only of fabric and seams, but of intricate laws and regulations that dictate who can wear what. These sumptuary laws, complex and often bewildering, are crafted to enforce social hierarchies, ensuring that clothing remains a visible marker of class and status. For a tailor, these laws transform the act of creation into a dance between tradition and innovation. Crafted with the strictest of intentions, sumptuary laws seek to maintain the social order. They dictate which fabrics, colors, and styles are permissible for each social class, attempting to raise curtains around the distinct stages of nobility, clergy, and commoners. These laws serve as an enforcement mechanism, a way to ensure that the pageantry of attire does not blur the boundaries deemed necessary by those perched atop the social ladder. For you, the tailor, understanding and abiding by these laws is an essential aspect of your craft. Each garment commissioned is guided by threads of legality, and you must keep abreast of the prevailing rules to deftly advise your clientele on what is permissible and what could invite punishment. And yet, within this framework of constraint lies a peculiar opportunity, the chance to exercise wit and creativity, pushing the boundaries of what these laws can accommodate. Sumptuary laws shift as frequently as the noble whims that conceive theme, a quintessential example historians are keen to discuss. They present a double-edged sword, meant to protect tradition, while inadvertently stoking the flames of ambition as people seek to assert individuality within the restricted confines of regulation. The more acutely these laws attempt to define the indefinable, the more determinedly people look for ways to circumvent them. This leads to a certain air of irony that pervades your workshop. There's an old tale that among some tailors, sumptuary laws are viewed as challenges rather than hurdles, a playful jest depicting them as grand puzzles awaiting clever solutions. For with every boundary drawn, hidden seams open, allowing a creative finesse to skirt the edges undetected, stitching together garments that slyly fit in tune and occasionally flirt with taboo outside these constraints. Yet the penalties for breaching these laws are severer fines, public humiliation, and in some cases, imprisonment, a reality that injects caution into the creative process. Fashion offers a silent revolt, a code where added flecks of vibrant thread or a cunning fold might appease those who yearn for more than circumference-bound attire. Indeed, the very existence of these laws sustains an open debate. Do they curb chaos or festoon human nature itself with a bright ribbon of rebellion? This socio-legal backdrop influences your interactions with clients, who often look to you for advice on how to express individuality without crossing the lines of legality. You become not just a tailor, but also a guide, assisting your patrons in navigating the labyrinthine pathways of legality and artistic self-expression. Together, you find ways to infuse personality into attire, exploring textures and shades that whisper within the confines of these ubiquitous laws. And amidst this dance of conformity and creativity, humor finds its way embedded in the quieter sides and shared with the knowing smile of camaraderie. For tailors have long jested that while sumptuary laws attempt to hem in ambitions, truly bold souls find their rebellion in the smallest of stitches. The playful acknowledgement from these light-hearted exchanges conveys that creativity transcends constraint, forging its own path in clandestine brilliance. As dusk settles over the city, the subtle glow of candlelight within your workshop casts soft shadows on the walls. The mannequins stand draped in garments that tell tales of aspiration and ingenuity. Each piece, a testament to your ability to harmonize clients' desires within the formidable framework of law. With each completed commission, you transcend mere fabric and thread, creating a sartorial dialogue that speaks to the heart of the medieval consciousness, dialogue that tensions the boundary between legality and aspiration. The journey through sumptuary law is as much an intimate counterpoint of hue as it is a profound study in fabric, voice, and narrative. As you close your eyes to the city's soft chorus, the law's lyrics continue to sing beneath the twinkle of stars, their quiet murmurs calming in purpose, yet resonating in the triumph of whispered rebelliona, crafted tapestry woven between imposition and inventiveness. Within you, a simple truth abides. Empowered by understanding and bound by creativity, Each garment is a silhouette gracing the crossroads of destiny, place, and the tailor's ever-glistening dream. The early morning mist clings to the cobblestones as you, the medieval tailor, open your workshop to a world often cast into turmoil by forces beyond your control. The tales of war and plague, two monumental shadows on the medieval horizon, are woven into the very fabric of daily life. These calamities impose themselves upon every aspect of existence, reshaping commerce, society, and even the threads that pass through your hands. The spectre of war looms large, its presence felt as much in the echo of metal-clad boots marching through town as in the whispering fear of looms falling silent. Conflicts disrupt trade routes, interrupting the flow of vital material. Silks from the east, wools from England, dyes from far-flung regions, a historical fact, with ramifications that ripple through your craft. Prices fluctuate wildly, and acquiring quality fabric can become as perilous as battle itself. The scarcity of materials forces you to innovate, to adapt, to make do with what little the times afford. Still, amid these challenges, humor often emerges as a coping mechanism. Tailors jest that during times of conflict, the real battle lies not at the front lines, but in the bidding wars over dwindling bolts of fabrica, dance of diplomacy and desperation. As the threads of trade entangle amid turmoil, you sharpen your wits and cultivate strategies for navigating the labyrinth of wartime commerce. Every completed garment becomes a minor victory, a testament to your resilience in the face of adversity. Alongside the chaos of war, the shadow of plague stalks the streets, touching lives with a spectral hand. The Black Death and other pestilences ravage populations, leaving behind desolation and desperation. Within your workshop, the air feels heavy with the weight of loss and uncertainty. Faces disappear from marketplace stalls. Once busy streets stand hauntingly silent, punctuated only by the low toll of bells echoing through the cityscape. In the grip of such pestilence, the demand for garments shifts. Funerary wear becomes a tragic yet necessary staple. As you stitch together black cloaks and mourning attire, each piece weaves a quiet elegy into its seams. The once bustling city offers a landscape altered beyond recognition. Society introspective, subdued, and reeling under the shared weight of its profound human toll. For despite plague's relentless advance, the resilience of those who remain emerges anew. A dark humor surfaces in whispers between hemlines, the jest that a tailor's life never knows. Pause, as all souls, both departed and living, demand attire to suit their passing wishes. Amidst the solitude of your own thoughts, there remains the undying truth. In tailoring for the living, the departed hold their silent place in between seams. Here lies an open scholarly debate. Do the devastations wrought by plague and conflict cement class divisions, or do they forge newfound unity among survivors, giving rise to unexpected vibrancy in a previously stagnant society? In the echoes of silence, such questions resound upon fabric stretched thin under their burden. Through war and plague, your craft remains an ancora constant, tactile ritual, grounding an ever-unpredictable world. Each needle pierced anticipates healing hands, as often as sanctuary, binding together stories of survival. And in times colored by upheaval, the simple act of creation extends more than threads upon tradition's loom. It threads humanity itself, a shared narrative not easily unraveled. War and pestilence challenge how you make sense of a world in flux. As a tailor, you are not immune to the tides of change that flood your community, but neither are you solely adrift, lost at sea. There is power in creating, perseverance in mending, and in each piece you fashion, a promise of hope, a whisper that harmony, if sought, lies deeply knit into the stitches of common need and joint resolution. As night descends upon another day reshaped by these forces, leave your workshop with a heart both heavy and uplifted, burdened by loss, yet buoyed by possibility. Within your quiet sanctuary, dialogue with enduring history, pivot-shaped plume to wing, casting soft shadows in simple certainty of life's faded hues. No matter the challenges of time's passage, know that beneath patched skies and plague's quiet dirges perseveres a tailor's truth, the unwoven strength of threads bridged by your tenacity, amid ages concealed in a stitch eternal. an anthem worthy yet long uncovered from beneath history's own shadowed linger. Tread softly, for even the dawn carries within it the first stitch of renewal awash in twilight, yet wonderfully resolute. With the dawn comes renewed hope, and in your workshop, amid the patchwork of cloth and echoes of your predecessors, the tension between innovation and tradition finds its home. In the medieval world, tailoring is a living tapestry where perseverance and creativity coalesce, propelled by necessity and inspired by change. Through time, this craft reflects the constant tug-of-war between the allure of the new and the comfort of the old, a narrative stitched with subtle artistry and dexterous adaptation. Each innovation presents itself as a bittersweet challenge, offering you the chance to explore new methods and materials while relying on your foundational knowledge to guide the way. You find yourself at a crossroads, where the temptation to embrace novel techniques vies with the wisdom bequeathed by generations of craftsmen. Like a storyteller at heart, you weave these disparate threads into garments that pay homage to their lineage while daring to imagine what could yet become. Innovation takes root slowly, much like the gradual unfolding of a new season. In the realm of textiles, advancements in weaving and dyeing pave the way for experimentation with bold colors, intricate patterns, and unexpected combinations. Silk weaving methods slipped along trade routes, introducing materials that challenge your skills and push boundaries of what can be achieved. Velvet, a particularly sumptuous and luxurious fabric, presents itself as a fashionable enigma, its plush texture demanding careful handling and ingenuity. Forward-thinking tailors play with silhouettes, exploring complex cuts and daring to reconstruct traditional forms. Throughout Europe, the tailored doublet emerges as a hallmark of change garment that invites layered fabrics and celebrates a man's form, uniting functionality with flair. To achieve it, you adapt techniques and tools, mastering bias, cutting, and architectural folding that bring structural beauty to life. Yet, this embrace of modernity does not come without its complications. Tradition acts as both a stern guardian and a comforting presence, echoing through the cadence of each day. Historians still grapple with whether such innovations fueled broader societal shifts or served as isolated sparks within a largely unyielding world. The debate bears fruit in the workshop as tailors commune both the assurance of customary processes and the thrill of untried horizons. Jesting soothes these often intangible tensions. Tailors laugh among themselves, spinning tales of fabric cut so outrageously as to incite retribution from the gods of traditional textiles. Humorous references to the purists' mythical loyalties abound, each quip a delicate nod to the artistic venture, tethered firmly to the solace of knowing whence they came. Beneath your capable hands, balance unfurls like a finely woven tapestry. In momentary quietude amidst bustling activity, you meditate on a delicate juxtaposition. Here lies the inherent beauty of your craft. While the future is woven through the richness of history, its palette grows to embrace medley-like colors shed upon autumn leaves. And as the day progresses, this delicate synergy weaves itself into the fabric of your work. With each pattern drafted, each thread pulled, reflect upon this legacy, a celebration of where artisans have come from and where they dare to go beyond these woven reminiscences. Here, one discovers not the opposition but the fruitful dialogue between inventiveness and adherence to time-tested practice. As the amber light of dusk bathes your workspace in its languid glow, the windows cast shadows like the branches of ancient trees across the filled workbench and floor. The conversation continues, phase lacing into infinity as echoes converge, a whispered interplay among leaves in timeless retreat. Innovation strides effortlessly across threads tethered with tradition, storytelling, yet one more chapter within needle-kissed framework. You, the tailor, disperse possibilities into flowering vines, as open windows embrace evening's curtsy, as enduring gestures steeped in history's well-tread, dust a mirrored glimmer along duskward dreams, rekindled afresh under starlit eyes, ablazed anew. Yet amidst such promise lies an assured echoer, delicate dance, threading past momentum with present resolve. All whispers coax silhouettes into broader possibility gather here, amid endless fiber, stitching heart into transient shadow once again. As the sun rises and illuminates the vibrant offerings of your workshop, You find yourself awash in a sea of colorful kaleidoscope, of dye-stained textiles, and vivid hues that captivate the senses. This journey through color reveals more than mere aesthetic delight. It tells a profound tale of medieval life, where colors are not just decorative, but imbued with significance, reflecting societal beliefs, trade secrets, and even clandestine messages. The art of dyeing fabric is a crucial aspect of tailoring, a skill passed down generations, evolving as secrets of material infusions and methods travel far and wide. As a tailor, you are both creator and alchemist, transforming simple threads into masterpieces that display status, wealth, and identity. The vibrant world of colors opens up a palette where each shade tells its own story. In medieval Europe, colors are not just a preference but a language. Rich reds, purples, and blues are not easily come by. They denote luxury and nobility, reserved for those who can afford the costly dyes derived from exotic ingredients like cochineal, murex shellfish, or indigo and historical fact, intertwined with the trade expansions of the era. The vibrancy and depth of these colors mark the wearer as someone of importance, displaying wealth as visibly as if it were worn in gold. At the other end of the spectrum are earth tones like browns and greens derived from simpler materials such as woad and plant barks, accessible to peasantry and commoners. These hues may be humble, but in their simplicity lies a gentle beauty and a reminder of mankind's early connection to the earther. Natural dyeing process, yielding results influenced by the land itself. With your vats of colors bubbling away, you've become something of a magician, conjuring shades from the cauldron of commerce and chemistry. The workshop hums with activity, as young apprentices tend the vats, stirring the vibrant potions under your watchful eye. Historians still argue whether innovations in dyeing stemmed from deliberate scientific exploration or serendipitous discoveries along trodden paths, a debate parallel to countless tales, unfolding as vivid within dyes. The significance of color cannot be overstated. It carries religious symbolism too, acting as a language for virtue and vice. Gold signifies divine wisdom in religious vestments, while white remains synonymous with purity and holiness. These tones influence those crafting clerical and royal attire, whereas deeper shades invite connotations untold legends, perpetuated by brilliantly adorned abbots and kings alike. Ironically, sumptuary laws dictate the use of such colors, infusing legality with a palette resemblance proclaimed by decreth, satirical interlacing, where tailors joke about laws being akin to pigmentary prison bars. These restrictions lend humor that warms the heart amidst seriousness, formulating strategies for navigating these legal mazes, one brushstroke at a time, undercurrent where vibrant change beckons subtler narratives in compliance. In your careful crafting, the use and avoidance of certain colors shape agendas through personal accord. Bright hues become messages sewn silently into fabric, offering subtle signals of resistance to the sharp eyes of discerning oppressor, tapestry combining intrigue with insight, bespeaking underlying stories with strands hiding truths in plain sight. For the tailor, the dance with color is about more than fulfilling clients' whims. It's an intellectual challenge. With each piece crafted, you orchestrate a symphony of hues as quiet emblems of cultural history, political statements, or even tokens of clandestine love. Under these multi-hued canopies, garments become symbols reflecting stories in quieter tones of eras, nuanced by chromatic visibility and flourish. As night descends, muting into shades as deep as ink, contemplate the daily celebration of color and its indelible impact upon society, its lodestone referencing history and consciousness embroidered into habitual reality. Subtle songs whisper within twilight across your hands, and amid these echoing voices, a gratitude for this vibrant world unfolds once more. From the medieval dye pits to contemporary discourse, the infinity of color energizes even finite threads. Vibrancy suspended beyond garments' facade unites humanity with a prism, perpetual engaging. Within fabric beyond dimensions solely understood by the needle's path, dappled across ceaseless timer, kaleidoscope ineffably revealed. As the sun climbs higher into the sky, casting bold shadows against the cobbled streets of your medieval town, it illuminates not only the tangible elements of your craft, but also the intangible perceptions that cling to it. Despite the elegance and artistry inherent in your profession, the societal perceptions that surround tailors tell a tale of contrast, where the fine line between exaltation and dismissiveness is ever present. In a world structured by rigid social hierarchies, tailors occupy a curious positions of the very essence of prestige and power, yet often residing outside the elite circles they dress. Your skill transforms mere fabric into the trappings of nobility, yet the societal perception of your trade often does not reflect the respect such artistry deserves. The role of a tailor is laden with a complex mix of admiration and stigma. While your craftsmanship clothes kings and counts, whispers among the elite dismiss the trade as mundane, positioning tailors as glorified toilers who stitch the indicative threads while remaining outside the tapestry of recognized prestige. This notion echoes through history, leaving traces that can still be detected today. Within the guilds, you find solace and respect, an enclave where your contributions are recognized as central to medieval societal structure. Here, you're esteemed as a skilled artisanal craftsman, wielding needle and fabric with the deft precision of an artist's brush. But beyond guild walls, the narrative changes, colored by class distinctions that often reduce your role to one of servitude, a narrative where prestige grips firmly what the proverbial tailor appears to lack. There's a humor shared among tailors that encapsulates this dichotomy with iron-eyed jest, that you can literally craft a suit of clothes for an emperor, yet your name may never rise above the whispers of the cobbled radio. It's an industry-wide chuckle that nods to the paradox you face, one of undeniable skill clothed in the garments of assumed invisibility. Historians often squabble over the causes of this perception. Do these societal views stem from medieval class structures designed to separate skilled labor from admiration, or are they born from a deeper assumption equating manual work with diminished prestige? The debate unfurls much like the unfolding fabric on your workbench, revealing the varied complexities within the threads of opinion. Despite the challenges in societal perceptions, it is within the privacy of your workshop that your true worth shines. Here, among the threads, fabrics, and the gentle hum of industry, you are master and creator, wielding the power to bend textiles to your artistic vision. Patrons fill your space with tales of longing and threads of ambition, and it is through these stories that you craft more than just attire. You forge connections between aspirations and achievement. In your quiet moments, reflect on the societal truths and transformations your work has witnessed. Silence begets thought, encouraging a pondered reflection. You are neither diminished nor consigned to shadow. Rather, you endure as a silent orchestrator of elegance interwoven through time. As man molds ephemeral sheaths, your enduring legacy, like the materials you work, echoes through ages unbound, unbroken by allegorical misconceptions. Strips of satire are woven through your fabric, as jest would have the tailor gifted with invisibility akin to needle fairy hoodon sliding beneath sight. And while recognition may seldom be embroidered as manifest laurels upon your attire, your existence remains ever in plain view. As the day draws to a close and the symphony of daily life fades to a whisper, the sun casts its warm glow over your workshop, blending the vibrant colors of your creations with the softer tones of dusk. Amidst this transitional light, the perception of your work becomes irrelevant. What endures is the passion and artistry fueling your hands. With the rhythm of needle through twill, expectations are gently sundered. Societal myths unravel in strands preconceived notions left behind, challenged within the imagery crafted beneath gauzy veils. Amid dazzling works wrought in earnest, those who wear your wares know their worth wholeheartedly, leaving perception to retreat into shadow, where they linger till another dawn glimmers softly on the needle's trace. Acknowledging the delicate seam between perception and reality, the tailor's enduring grace emerges. Beneath folded fades of time, attired are the revelations shared, as twilight zones illuminate curves sculpted upon garments beyond visibility's beckoning tapestry, housing life's gentle pulse. As the festive season approaches, your workshop hums with a frenetic energy. Christmastide is upon you, and with it comes a rush unlike any other. In this medieval world of rhythmic cycles and seasonal rituals, the demands placed upon tailors during key festivals are as timeless as they are universal. This time of year brings a particular urgency to your work, an intricate dance of supply and demand, where the stakes stretch as taut as the threads of your craft. The Christmas rush is not merely a matter of increased workload, it is a burst of vibrant anticipation woven through the daily routine, blending a celebratory spirit with the more tempered realities of business. Patrons flock to your door, each speaking in voices laced with expectation garments that embody the season's warmth, with richness crafted to withstand both winter's chill and the social showcases of Yuletide gatherings. Parents come for clothes to surprise their children, while noble families seek finery that ensures they will not be outshone in the grand feasts marking Advent and Yuletide. As colors rich and somber mix with warmer hues, your craft transforms fabric into the tapestry of family celebration, a narrative of cheer emerging from the loom. The joke among tailors during this frenetic rush is that time itself wears no seams, hence its spectacular ability to slip away unnoticed. A jest reflecting the whirlwind nature of holidays, challenging even the most seasoned tailor. Despite the exhaustion, camaraderie abounds as fellow artisans marvel at the shared feats of ingenuity and endurance. In addition to providing attire, there's an extra layer to consider: personalization. With party invitations abound, patrons desire garments crafted to highlight individuality in crowded company. These are moments when your seasoned skill as a tailor truly shines, as you balance creativity with the constraints of time, enhancing fabrics with intricate details that speak the unspoken on behalf of wearers. Yet, beneath the fervor of festive cheer, rests a truth that historians often pause to consider. Did these holiday crafting rushes foray beyond simple seasonal demand, influencing the socio-economic fabric of medieval life? Were these flurries of activity catalysts for broader communal exchange, or merely reflections of momentary indulgence? To counteract such challenges, you hone your craft with practiced ingenuity, employing every trick in your tailor's repertoire to meet deadlines and expectations, such as using pre-cut templates for common shapes or delegating simpler tasks to apprentices. As your seasoned fingers deftly guide thread through fabric with the precision of habit, there is resolution in the repetition, a promise that the season's garments will emerge complete, vibrant, and timely. Amidst the bustle lies a comforting steadiness work may intensify, yet through the shared pursuit of beauty and utility within the festive spirit, simple exchanges between client and craft deepen. Among the folds of fabric waits a gracious pause, a recognition that beyond the garment's eventual unveiling lies the shared triumph of patience, skill, and the art of bringing an idea to shimmering reality. As the Christmas rush approaches crescendo, the harmonic din amplifying amidst shop daughters' desires and family hubbub, your own sense of anticipation awakens with childlike delight. Through the solemn reverie, garments hang nestled upon pegs like crafted vestiges of ancient custom, anticipating seasonal adoration under Eve's ethereal glint. In the tender tones within familiar confines, the satisfaction in fully stitched perfection drapes around your shoulders alongside shy night's embrace. With each finely tuned exchange comes mutual gratitude and recognition of life's seasonal tapestry, tenderly expectation, cloth, yet completion, full under careful spirits spun. As evening settles over your town, your workshop quietens, yet the imbued warmth within every seam lingers, stirring your anticipation for the coming celebrations. The legacy of Christmas is not just the garments crafted, or the tales spun through fibre and time-it's the return of faces seen anew, enriched in moments abound long within dusk enfolded. Thus, in the ornament horizons of tomorrow, auspicious threads await arising upon dawn's soft beam-slingering joy and peace seep, unfading in hearts bound anew within custom and keener, simple yet enduring wish for merry horizons, granted softly once again. As the soft glow of dawn seeps through the windows, casting playful shadows across your workshop, your thoughts turn to the esoteric world of secret symbols and hidden messages woven into the very fabric of medieval life. In times defined by silence as much as by speech, clothing serves as more than mere attire. It is a canvas for coded messages, concealed secrets, and stories whispered across seams. In an age where parchment is precious and words hold weight, garments become the medium through which individuals express beliefs, affiliations, and even rebellious sentiments. Each stitch and thread in your hands possesses the potential to speak volumes to those who know how to listen. Tailors, therefore, occupy a curious role as both artisans and custodians of these clandestine visual languages, creating garments that transform wearers into bearers of silent narratives. Within the confines of the workshop, you encounter fabrics etched with meaning. The use of certain motifs or colors might appear purely decorative, yet they nod to deeper truths or quietly subvert prevailing norms. The wearer of a garment adorned in specific patterns or hues might silently communicate allegiance to a house or faith, offering a subtle nod to influence unseen. Consider the vibrant yet understated Lombardy rose subtly woven into a belter symbol, suggesting fidelity to the House of Visconti, a detail discernible only to those initiated into its meaning, or the seemingly mundane positioning of a knot that might whisper defiante allegiance to secret guilds, sects, or movements. Here lies an open scholarly debate over whether intentional messaging conveyed through attire overtly veiled broader undercurrents of resistance within society. Humorously, tailors often quip that navigating these subtle subtexts is akin to deciphering Shakespearean sonnets, each garment an ode concealed as structured symbolism. The bard's own invisible muse can trace threads, tethering vision to verse. Yet not all symbols mirror actions of grand subterfuge. Some scatter tales of simple sentiment, the flowers slipped within embroidery, telling of quiet romances or deep friendship, a vivid reminder of the language of petals understood by those who exchange hearts silently. The storied traditions of heraldry find shared residence stitched upon boundless imagination, with lions leaping across surcoats or simple initials claiming lineage through quieter tone. Crafting such garments becomes an exercise in subtlety and expression. The artistry of tailoring extends beyond the physical to your imagination, guiding needle and thread to sketch resonant stories out of cloth. Each creation whispers to both the conscious and the subconscious, commanding attention, yet asking for discretion, a gentle insistence that reveals while concealing. Amid this complexity, there exists a sense of play and mischief. Jests run rampant about spies who spend their days scrutinizing hems for hidden messages, while tailors converge in the art of defying expectation through fashion's cunningly subversive smile. Tension builds only within muster of placid musings as subtextual puns allure to entertain deeper discourse amid resilience. In the looming twilight, as you stand amidst finished commissions soon to embrace new heights, satisfaction alights in crafting not only wearables, but layering lives, sharing monumental subtleties amid effervescent gossamer. Here, fabric runs beyond dyer's vision, imbued with more than mere pigment. The touch of insistent illusion colored through faith waits poised with contemplation. As work concludes and the evening descends, you leave the impressions of creative folly amid whitecaps glistening upon dark mirrored pools. But even then, garments arched across chamber line retain shadowed hums of imagery, softer still. Embraced, entwined within evening's subtle fold, visions of creativity arise in curtained swathes, as fires loom warm beneath shelter's hearth. The whispered language of clothing leaves a vivid imprint, as yet unseen, glinting across the starlight, beckoning soft in constancy, despite the brisk descent of whispered illusions bidden into memory's distant alcovess awaiting anew upon. A tailor's resonating touch. Threads connect time through silent embellishments, veiled within emotion, woven insistently while crafting cadence in timeless veils beneath luminous narrative hues. In solace, a gentle reminder whispers through the hollow hush of moon-kissed dusk-holding, always the echoing stitch through arcane night and day. As you immerse yourself once more into the rhythm of your workshop, the soft rustle of fabric and the gentle clinking of shears remind you that tailoring is not solely about the garments that leave your hands, but the legacy that persists through generations. The tale of the medieval tailor is a thread woven deeply through history, an indelible narrative of skill, artistry, and silent influence. Reflecting on the centuries, you come to see that tailors have been more than mere craftsmen. They are storytellers, cultural custodians, and quiet architects of social evolution. The garments you've crafted have adorned kings and commoners alike, their fabric bearing witness to history's most pivotal moments. Each stitch is a tactile memory embraced within the fabric, a silent chronicler of the passage of time. Consider the robes of a king as he addresses his court, the solemnity of the occasion reflected in the folds of his ermine-trimmed cloak. These garments lend gravity to words, transforming speech into spectacle. Similarly, the simple dress of a villager conveys the dignity of daily toil, the cloth serving as a testament to resilience and perseverance. It is here, within the folds of fabric and pattern, that the tailor's legacy takes root, growing quietly into the annals of tradition and transformation. Throughout the years, tailors leave an indelible mark on the lives they touch. A well-made garment becomes a family heirloom, passed from generation to generation, its stitches binding the wearer to the past. The stories encapsulated in these garments speak to evolution beyond the tangible, representing shifts in lineage, technology, and culture, a rich tapestry of human experience. Even within the guilds, where tailors uphold the sanctity of their craft, innovation rises alongside tradition, fostering the exchange of ideas across borders. The shared knowledge admits no boundary. While gowns for French nobility favor a different weave, the core skills remain universally appreciated. Witness, too, the clever remuneration of apprentices whose hands once guided youth, alongside the light-hearted suggestion that silk ruined many a perfectly good wool tunic. Historians contend with this threadbare debate, like tailors themselves, regarding the significance of these contributions over time. Did the evolving artistry of tailoring inadvertently reshape society, or did it simply mirror shifts more visible from the outside? The discussion weaves through time like heated arguments, sung within the echo of hammer upon forge, as scholars dissect legacy versus innovation amid tailoring's gentle commerce. Amid the laughter shared aloud, the jesting premise emerges that even one simple button, long survived, through ages scattered in errant form, skews the timeline of shared folly, each client left wary of their garment's idle cord. Yet, humor aside, the profound imprint tailors leave behind continues beyond seams checked by fabled hours lain. In the present, your own legacy unfolds quietly through fabric passed from your hands to grateful patrons. Each garment echoes your influence, gentle reminder that bearing witness matters little beneath festooned garb, if the living footprint of craft crumples undone. As you tidy your workshop for the evening, the warm light casting an amber glow over the softly worn wood and gentle trickle of colored hues, the present aligns with history. In the intimacy of your work, feel connected to the craftspeople who came before, your legacy entwining with theirs in a harmonious tapestry. As stars emerge and the year nears its close, take a moment to ponder the journey, a Hediac thread leading to new beginnings. Through the generations, the medieval tailor's legacy flows through time, adorned by choice remnants meant lovingly for future callings. Here lies the comforter knowledge that within iron grips past and whispered future's realm lies an inherently woven certain tithe. Tailor's indomitable legacy persists as enduring embodiment, one in circles not alone. Tomorrow, let idle hands weave anew bright echoes upon destinies worn even now by those gone before, silent as shadows underneath a craftsman's blush. The midnight silence wraps the town in its gentle embrace, and as you stand amidst your creations, the dim candlelight flickers over the familiar sight of fabric and thread awaiting the morrow. As thoughts turn to rest, a serene acknowledgement settles over you. The tale of the medieval tailor is but one thread in the vast weaving of time. Tonight, allow yourself to leave behind the day's intricate dance of needle and loom, inviting the comfort of reflection and calm. In this moment of respite, your legacy whispers through the quiet rooms, a reminder of the enduring impact of a craft rooted in both history and hope. Each garment, each stitch woven with care, has been a small part of a larger narrative, one celebrating creativity, resilience, and the passage of knowledge from one generation to the next. Consider the familiar motions of your ritual, the careful stacking of remaining fabrics, the gentle dimming of lights, as you embrace the tranquility permeating through the corners of your workshop. The day has been long filled with the rhythm of scissors and the comforting hum of conversation shared over the quiet labor of creation. In the silent hours, these echoes linger, binding the space into a sanctuary where the future softly beckons. Beneath the serene landscape of night, the tailors of old walk beside you, their shared legacy etched into the fabric of time. A warm feeling settles over your heart, your place among them secured by dedication and artistry, a testament to the continuity of time's gentle weave. As you draw the shutters close against the night, let your mind dwell on the softer notions of what has been and what is yet to be. For even as the garments around you stand testament to tales both splendorous and profound, it is in the simple connections with those you've outfitted that your legacy truly unfurls. This night, within the heart of stillness, grant yourself the comfort of surrender. Close your eyes and allow the weariness born of creation to ease into the deep, soothing embrace of sleep. The rhythms of centuries past mingle with dreams yet unimagined, a restful lullaby soothing the edges of consciousness. Here, within the gentle cradle of evening's peace, lies the knowledge that as a tailor you have contributed not just to the temporal, but to the eternal thread woven through life's tapestry, binding the past, present, and future in a tender embrace. May sleep envelop your weary spirit, granting respite and renewal. As you drift toward dreams scrawled upon fabric yet unmade, listen close, feel the quiet hum of history and possibility whispering across your familiar heart, promising new beginnings upon the morrow's horizon. So rest, dear artisan, as your craft cradles you softly into night. This night, this moment, and this legacy are your own. Embrace them fully and completely, knowing that even in stillness, creation awaits yet again. Sweet dreams.